Hey guys, so I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Why the mind-body recovery journey from chronic illness can take so long for a lot of people. Like for my case, it's almost going on 4 years. And like if you follow the Mindful Gardener, if you follow Sam and Helmet, for him, he said it took about 3 years. And then for Sam, I believe she said that it took her about 4 years to recover from, allowing all the symptoms and all these things. And it's like the hardest journey ever. I want to just keep reiterating that it is so challenging to go through. But I think there's many reasons why it could take so long. There's just, depending on how much, stored trauma you have in your brain and in your body, the tension between, your true self versus your authentic self versus your false self. We're talking Jung, all these things, right? But I think there's another element that should be brought to light as to why it may take so long. It's that we haven't fully received the invitation through this chronic illness journey to live and design a life that is true for us. And I know that this is the whole premise of my channel, right? Like if you look at my playlist for all these videos, it's the journey to the unlived life. And I think I'm understanding and immersing and experiencing the like deeper layers of that. I think that for me personally, and hopefully maybe you'll resonate with this if you've been on this journey for years now. I spent the first 2.5 years of strictly mind-body recovery, working with different coaches, doing courses and all these things, trying to return back to my life that I was living in the same pace, in the same cadence, that ultimately resulted in my perfect storm of chronic illness. So what does that mean? It means I fully think I was allowing the symptoms. I understood what was happening. My brain was sensing danger, And in the TMS world, in the Dr. Sarno world, it's a lot of like recognizing, being aware of what these sensations are, knowing inherently that they're not dangerous, that they're safe, and that you just kind of, my perception of it is you kind of just like disregard them, right? And you use your because that's your amygdala's generating these symptoms. And so you want to grow your prefrontal cortex that I've read, it shrinks, especially if you've had substantial childhood trauma, which I have. So we're trying to grow and strengthen the prefrontal cortex, the analytical, the logical. I call it the parent brain, right? It is the parent's voice that you should have had if you had like emotionally mature parents. And the whole journey in the TMS space is to grow the prefrontal cortex, to kind of just use it to signal to the amygdala like, hey, there's no danger anymore. We're fine. We're going to keep living our life. And I see now how that there's you just kind of move the sensations to the side. You're not really dealing with why. We don't want to do why, because why invites a story, which may or may not be true, which may or may not be helpful. But I have to think, like, when I reflect on my journey the last 2.5 years, when I reflect on my journey for the first 2.5 years of strictly mind-body recovery, I was allowing, and I knew what was going on, but I was still trying to show up as my old Leanne, like the hasteful Leanne, like the Leanne that was still putting on a mask of people pleasing and performing and giving, over-giving and over-serving and feeling obligated, feeling the shoulds, feeling all of the, just everything. Like, I need to do this, I need to do that, blah, 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 blah. So I was effectively trying to return back to that old cadence. And I did that for 2.5 years. So I really like brute forced it almost. So it was like showing up to all the events that I used to work. I was still working my 9 to 5. I don't know. In looking back now, I'm like, I don't know how the heck I did that. I mean, it was remote. Thankfully, we had to go into the office at the time was every other week for a day. And when those days came, oh my gosh, those were such hard days for me. Like brutal. And so I was trying to keep up with that pace. And finally, after 2.5 years, I was just kind of like, the symptoms were still roaring. And I was like, I don't know. I don't have willpower anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have the brute force anymore. I can't. I don't want to do this. So I don't know if that's a mistake or not. But since then, this was about a year ago, almost a year ago now. I have really become a recluse. I've hermited a lot. I still went out, I've still gone out, but not at the same cadence. I stepped away from environments that I was in heavily for like 20 years, stepped away from relationships, stepped away from family, just kind of focused on myself. I mean, if you watch my videos, but I really I pulled way back. And so it's been about a year of that, of pulling way, way, way back, like not even forcing myself to go out to like the normal things that I used to, that have been such a big part of my life. And after a year of kind of really hermiting and purposely choosing to step away for real, not just because solely the symptoms are there, but my own decision, I've come to realize that I didn't even enjoy those old relationships. I didn't enjoy that environment anymore. I didn't resonate anymore with all of that. And I realized, like, holy crap, you were trying so hard, Leanne. I'm talking to myself. Leanne, you were trying so hard to act like the old Leanne, when really I think that the reason why chronic illness started and the symptoms are screaming is because they're like, you don't like this. You don't resonate with this. This makes no sense, but you're doing it anyway. You don't resonate with these people anymore, but that doesn't mean I don't love them. I love them. I love them. I'm so grateful for these relationships. I'm so grateful for that environment. But having spent a year like solely tending to myself and just trying to, honestly, what it felt like a sabbatical from life. And I realized that that's such a privileged thing to say, because I know so many people do not have the opportunity to be able to just be like, hey, I'm just gonna keep to myself for a year. I'm talking like single parents. I can't even imagine how they do it. And just people who they can't, like, they have to go work a 9 to 5 to provide, like my mom was that way. So I recognize the privilege in this. And I'm grateful for it. Although I have to keep reiterating, because people, if you're on this journey, it really sucks. The physical discomfort and the unpredictability is so brutal and so wild that someone who has not gone through this cannot possibly understand the brutality of this journey. So just want to put that out there. But so having been in my hermit period for about a year, I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing with my life now. I thought I had the whole thing mapped out. I thought by age 27 to 29, before the illness started, I felt like I was on the path. I had my I had my group, I had my tribe, I had my environment, I had my routine, I had my pace, even though now looking back, it was way crazy. It was a crazy pace. Like, when do you rest? Leanne, when did you rest? So I think that there is an element of when you go through this journey and you're invited to like really take a look at your life and be really honest about things that, you know, if you actually enjoy if you actually enjoy environments anymore or these relationships anymore, those things all come to light. And I just feel like in that regard alone, the chronic illness journey is a gift, because one, it's inviting you to stop and get honest and rest effectively, because it's saying, you have unacknowledged emotional charge in your body, that it, like, the load is too much. We need to disperse. We need to dispel all of it. And two, your brain's like, I don't think you're aware, but you kind of hate this life right now. You know, like, you kind of hate the life that you're living right now, but you don't even know. So I'm going to show you, you know? So I just wanted to bring that to light. Like, I want to see if you guys are also experiencing this as well, where if you've been on the prolonged journey and you come to the realize, like, you hit a block, and you're like, okay, I know the symptoms are going to be there, but I feel like they keep screaming because I have to make some substantial changes in my life. I have to make real changes. I have to live for myself and discover who I am for the first time. So that's it. Just a little seeds to think about. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let's have a discussion. Let's figure this out, because this journey is brutal. But we're in it together. All right. See you guys next time.